Hello and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at another Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord devlog in the form of another Q&A. This time, it's with the lead programmer at Tail Worlds called Beret Seren Ustangad. I can't say that, I'm afraid. But I think it would be interesting to find out what the employers at Tail Worlds actually think about the game, what they prefer, and I'll be reading out some of the more interesting questions in this article. And there's also one more screenshot if you want to see it, which I'll probably put in the thumbnail, as well as on screen at some point. So the first question reads, what do you do normally during your day? She replies with, mostly I'm working on non-battle scenes like tournaments, towns, villages, taverns, etc. for NPC agents. I work directly with the animators and we are trying to make them feel as real as possible so that you get the sense of a living world while walking around the streets and towns and villages. Then she gives us a little bit of insight into the quests. She says, for example, our common quests are dynamically created by the current state of the world. This means that we don't just spawn in characters or create conditions for a quest, but rather that the game looks to see what's currently happening and offers a mission based on what is available. This is an absolutely brilliant feature because say you're in Praven, or the Bannerlord equivalent of Praven, I can't remember the name, and you're at war with the Khergits maybe halfway through the game. A quest may generate where you have to go and assassinate that Khergit lord. However, that quest will not generate if you're not at war with the Khergits. That's just an example. The next question reads, what's the most difficult thing that you've solved so far during the production of Bannerlord? She replies with, I think the most difficult part is trying to keep every feature moddable. This is something that we have to constantly keep in mind while we are adding a new feature or maintaining an implemented part of the game. So obviously Bannerlord is going to be one of the most moddable games we are probably going to ever see. Everything that the game designers use will be, I'm pretty sure, available to modders in their own like modding tool area, which is really cool, and we're gonna get some particularly brilliant mods out of Bannerlord. So this other question gives us some new information on Bannerlord. The question reads, have any changes been made to the recruitment system? She replies with, there have been many changes to the recruitment system. Players can recruit base troops from notables or fiefs. Now notables are like important people. Some notables even provide higher level troops such as archers or infantry rather than just recruits. So if you go to a lord and or maybe a castle and request to recruit troops, you'll get better than just your normal like levies or farmers that you'll get from these small settlements or fiefs. Depending on the relationships with a particular NPC, they can provide a reduction in the recruitment cost or offer more troops for the player to hire. Some special troops such as Valandian Knights represent minor nobility. These kinds of units have completely different troop trees. In the instance of Valandian Knights, they can only be upgraded from Valandian Squires, who in turn can only be recruited from NPC nobles. With this in mind, it's wise to maintain good relationships with the Valandian nobles if your eventual aim is to have Valandian Knights in your party. Now that is very interesting, because what you used to be able to do in Warband, depending if you had the right funds, you could just go to a farm and then get your farmers or the people that you've recruited up to a higher level and slowly just advance to Swadian Knights that were just the most overpowered thing in the game. Now this time, you can't just do that. You really have to keep your relationships with lords, who then will give you squires, who then will be upgraded to Valandian Knights. And those Valandian Knights are minor nobility in themselves. That might have something to do with tying in with minor factions. Also, if you make them a lord, they'll obviously have better lord skills if they're a knight beforehand. That's quite interesting. We're going to read the end of this section. It goes on to say, it does go on to say that you won't be restricted from acquiring heavy cavalry if your relationships with the Valandian nobility is too poor. You will still have access to Valandian man-at-arms who are almost as skilled as the knights but just aren't as heavily armored. So you'll be able to go through the farm system or the fief system, get farmers, and then eventually they'll be able to progress to Valandian man-at-arms. Now that's a very interesting insight into the recruitment system, and that's pretty much it for this dev blog. I hope you enjoyed this little snippet of Bannerlord information. I will make sure I keep you updated as much as possible. I'd also like you to go ahead and check out my latest video that I just put up is something very different. It's definitely worth your time to go ahead and check that out. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely brilliant day, and I will see you in the next one.